Hispanics are contributing to a $1.5 trillion consumer market, with Latinas playing a major role. We discuss opportunities for Latinas to further their business and leadership growth. And we learn about the major resources available right here in our region for retail, hospitality, and tourism. It's all here on the next Latino Motion. Join us.
Choose quality, value, distinction. Choose Stockton.
Latino Motion with Bert Lopez is presented by Latino Motion Public Affairs Media, a New Jersey nonprofit corporation, and Stockton University. This edition of Latino Motion with Bert Lopez is brought to you by the HD Studios at the campus of Stockton University. Funding for Latino Motion is provided by Atlanticare, healthcare you can believe in. Atlantic City Electric, energy for a changing world. And South Jersey Gas. Welcome to Latino Motion, a weekly interview show highlighting issues impacting New Jersey's Latino community while advancing understanding of Latino cultural heritage and contributions to our society. And here is your host, Bert Lopez.
Buenos dias and welcome to Latino Motion. According to Nielsen, a global information measurement firm, Latinos are the most influential segment since the baby boomers, representing $1.5 trillion in consumer market. And it's not surprising that Latinos are credited as the force behind small business growth in the U.S., with Latinas playing a major role in that growth. Joining me are two of those Latinas with a pulse of Latina businesses in New Jersey, Suzanna Moment. She is with Latinas in Business US, and Clarissa Romero. She is the CEO of Mindful Consultants, LLC. Ladies, welcome to Latino Motion.
Thank you for having us.
And welcome back, because you've both been on the show before. Right. So it's a pleasure to have you back. You both have a good knowledge of Latinas and Latina businesses in New Jersey. Right. You collaborated to work on a project. Tell me a little bit about that project.
Yes. We're having a business retreat coming up June 3rd for female leadership. And we're very, very excited about this joint venture that we have.
My introduction indicated Latinas play a major role, business growth and development, but the leadership role, they're still lacking, right, in being able to break that glass ceiling. Why is that?
Well, that's been a question for me for a long time. Females in general, women in general, and Latinas in particular, have been falling behind opportunities. And I've been asking, maybe there is some reasons why. And I came to the conclusion that women have been going through the wrong path in a way, in the sense that they have been following male leadership roles. Okay, instead of having their own skills and natural talents or acquired talents developed into these leadership skills. Think of children when we raise a boy and a girl. Even if we try to be fair and we try to raise them equally, we have different expectations for girls and for boys. So that's when I started thinking about can we go back to the sources, explore these leadership skills that they already, bring naturally with them, and develop their own career path to these positions that are so important.
Let's talk a little bit about this union that you guys have made, and you decided to go with a retreat as opposed to a workshop. Tell me why.
So the difference between a conference is that a lot of times when you go to a conference, someone speaks to you, you do not have an opportunity to engage. We want for this to be very interactive. It's going to be about the women that are going to be there. It's going to be hands-on and intensive, and a time for you to really come up with a power plan. So that's why it's a retreat, and it's all day.
Now, I know that you decided to break this up into 3 pillars, you called it, right? Yes. So tell me about those 3 pillars.
The 3 pillars are personal branding, which is the workshop I'm going to conduct. Secondly, we have a career development and coaching, which is a third coach that's not here with us today. Diana Cabeza, she's an excellent trainer and coach. Clarissa is going to do the mindfulness and emotional intelligence workshop.
Now, I know we're going to get into each one of these pillars, if you will. But what type of Latinas are you looking to attract?
I know we are extending an invitation and focusing on mid-management. Also, women in corporate positions, not just mid, but corporate positions in general, as well as women aspiring to have leadership roles in business associations or professional associations, or for your own personal leadership acquisition as well.
Right now, we're missing one of the pillars, right? Because branding, mindfulness, and coaching and development. Let's just start off with a little bit about the branding. Why is that so important?
Personal branding has become so important because in the next decade, with so much noise out there, telling your story and knowing how to tell your story is one of the most important skills. You have to have a unique story to tell for people to pay attention to you. And with the expansion of technology, everybody has become a public figure now. So not only you are seeing other people are seeing you, and that can be dangerous. So you have to be careful.
And it could also be very confusing.
Yes.
Mindfulness, why is that so important? And let's just briefly talk. What is mindfulness?
Absolutely. So mindfulness is a neuroscience-based practice where you train your brain to be in the present moment. And we felt that mindfulness was extremely an important pillar to incorporate in this one-day retreat, because when you're mindful and you're able to bring your attention in the present moment, it helps you to be a more effective leader. As a matter of fact, it's the number one skill to be successful and to be empowered and be a leader. So you need mindfulness. It's emotional intelligence. It's awareness.
Yeah, we'll talk a little more in depth about those three, and the other one is coaching. Development and coaching, and that's very critical as well.
Yes, Diana Cabeza is going to do the career and development and coaching to help them map, their road into strategizing their career, building a network of people who are going to be able to help them, to get to the positions they need. Because nowadays you cannot do it by yourself. You really need to have a network of people that can help you get there.
That's a good segue. We'll take a quick break and we'll discuss that a little further. We'll be right back with more Latino Motion.
Latino Motion with Bert Lopez is presented by Latino Motion Public Affairs Media, a New Jersey nonprofit corporation. Join us online at www.latinomotion.tv. Find us on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. We encourage your comments and contributions for show topics.
Welcome back to Latino Motion. We continue our discussion with Suzanna Moment. She is with the Latinas in Business.us, and Clarissa Romero. She is CEO of Mindful Consultants, LLC. Ladies, we continue our discussion, very good discussion about this retreat that we're having, focused on Latinas. We talked about the three pillars, and we were talking about branding, how critical that is. One of the issues with branding, a lot of Latinas make a lot of mistakes, is in social media. Yes. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, as I said before, we are out there and everybody has become a public figure. When you're on Facebook, you think only your friends, are looking at what you're saying. But in reality, these days, employers and, human resources managers and, people are doing
potential customers.
And potential customers, they're doing research on what you're doing, what you're saying, how you're behaving, and that's very, very important. And by the way, the retreat is extended to all females, not only Latinas.
Good point.
Yes, yes.
Now, let's talk one of the pillars, which is mindfulness, right? So branding is one, and the other one is mindfulness. We talked about a little bit of what mindfulness is, but why is there such a buzz around mindfulness in business today?
Yeah, there really is. They refer to it as a revolution. There's a mindfulness revolution, and it has to do with the fact that we're living in a very, very fast-paced society, and it's keeping all the technology and the fast pace is keeping us extremely stressed. So it boils down to stress. So the buzz is driven by two trends. Stress is the leading cause of illness, and it's costing companies $300 billion a year.
Well, that's really
Yes.
that's really significant. So why is it important more for women?
Yes, well, recent studies have shown that even though most of us multitask a lot, women multitask more, and that leads to more stress and negative emotions and the sensation that you have more of a workload. Even when sometimes you have a similar position with the same roles as a man, you tend to feel that magnified as a result of multitasking.
Yeah, very, very, very interesting. You don't think about it in those terms. Now, when we talk about mindfulness, I mean that there are books and there's other information available there. So it is becoming trending. Professionals, athletes are using mindfulness. Tell me a little bit of a couple tips that maybe we should keep in mind as far as mindfulness is concerned.
So when it comes to mindfulness, it's a simple practice. We just need to remember to apply it. And it's basically bringing awareness to our five senses. So if you're walking, walk mindfully. Be in the present moment. Feel your steps. If you're driving, drive. Don't be on the phone. Don't listen to music. Be in the driving. So whatever you're doing, it's about bringing presence and awareness to what you're doing.
You talked about millennials. You know that they always seem to be all over the place, particularly even walking or driving. Unfortunately, on the phones and on social media constantly, and there's a time and place for everything, isn't there?
Absolutely. Exactly. They're actually millennials. There's a recent study that came out. Millennials are not even in the manageable stress level. They're in the very dangerous zone of stress levels. It's not even manageable anymore for them.
Let's talk about that third pillar, coaching, development, coaching, something that once you get done schooling and you start on your professional career, maybe you don't think about it, but it's an ongoing process that we always have to think about. Tell me a little bit about that.
Exactly. So the idea is to strategize, engage, and succeed. And you really need to first have a roadmap to your career or your leadership path so that you can follow. Then you need to engage the people who are going to help you to get there. And that's important because as a small business owner for 20 some years, I did it all by myself. I didn't have that possibility of maybe having a mentorship in, or an institution or organization that was helping me. And it was, hard, and there's a lot of obstacles. When you have a network of people in your company, in your industry, and even in your community that can support you to bring those leadership skills to who you are, then it's easier and you gain momentum. And that's important.
So again, the retreat is taking place on what day and where?
June 3rd in Teaneck, New Jersey.
So I know it's a little far, but certainly this is great information. And we'll put the website, so if anyone's interested and would like to participate, they could get all that information off your website. Ladies, thank you so much for sharing this information. And please stay tuned. We'll be right back with more Latino Motion.
Latino Motion with Bert Lopez is presented by Latino Motion Public Affairs Media, a New Jersey nonprofit corporation. Join us online at www.latinomotion.tv. Find us on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. We encourage your comments and contributions for show topics.
Welcome back to Latino Motion. The South Jersey region is an important part of the state's talent network for retail, hospitality, and of course, tourism. Joining me to discuss the important resources available right here in our region is Stacey Foreman. She is with the Retail, Hospitality, and Tourism Network. Stacey, welcome to Latino Motion.
Thank you for having me.
So Stacey, my first question is, what is a talent network?
So the mission of a talent network is to gather industry intelligence and propose strategic approaches to contribute to the growth of local businesses while also creating economic mobility for residents through workforce development initiatives.
Well, that's a lot to cover.
It is.
But in New Jersey, just happens to have 7 of those talent networks. That's correct?
That's correct.
And you happen to have one of those here in South Jersey.
That's correct as well.
So tell me a little bit about the work you do, and obviously part of this is bringing awareness. Tell me a little bit about that awareness that you're trying to accomplish.
Sure. So the Talent Network, we are hosting what's called Targeted Industry Partnerships, or TIPs, and we're meeting quarterly. We're meeting one-on-one and in small groups with industry professionals, and we're talking about the talent gaps that exist. We're talking about identifying skills and competencies that they prefer to see in job candidates. We're talking about establishing career pathways for the economic mobility that I previously mentioned. And we're identifying workforce challenges and coming up with solutions so business has a highly skilled and qualified workforce in retail, hospitality, and tourism.
So tell me a little bit about the folks that you're looking to get engaged in this partnership. So are we just talking about the workforce development professionals, economic, but are we also talking about the business owners themselves, getting them engaged?
So the targeted industry partnerships are focusing on working with businesses, with industry professionals, economic and workforce development professionals, and of course educators.
So you're not looking to hire or help those businesses necessarily get employees. You're helping them to accomplish some of the issues they might be having within their industry, correct?
Right, so we primarily work with the business community, and the idea behind a targeted industry partnership and a talent network is to create a workforce in New Jersey that is credentialed and has degrees and has that opportunity for economic mobility. And so in working with these businesses, we're able to train job candidates, prospective job candidates, to meet the needs of this particular industry.
Obviously, you also help to identify what kind of positions might be available out there, so that'll help the one-stops.
Absolutely. Indirectly, the job seeker is also a customer of the talent network.
Now, the tips, who do you want to participate? How do you get the word out? Someone has a restaurant, has a hotel, and they're having problems getting employees, good quality employees. They have specific issues.
Yes.
How do they get in touch with you?
So we're holding quarterly targeted industry partnership meetings. They're open to the public. Any business is eligible to attend and participate. I think the primary focus for us is just getting them to be a part of the discussion. We can't develop effective and efficient programs without having industry input. We have an upcoming event in June that will be held at the Avalon Links Golf Club.
That's June the 19th in Calumet County.
Yes, and we rotate. So I cover a 9-county, 3-region area. So we rotate within the counties for our quarterly meetings so that everybody has the opportunity to get involved.
This particular network, talent network, is very important for South Jersey and the state. How big is this talent network?
So there's 7 talent networks in the state of New Jersey. They cover key industries that have been identified as having the potential growth, retail, hospitality, and tourism being one of them. 4 in 5 jobs in the state of New Jersey fall within the retail, hospitality, and tourism.
So that's pretty big. That's a significant.
Yeah, significant portion of the New Jersey workforce.
And you divide it between a south and a north
That is correct.
talent network. So.
Yes, we have a counterpart in northern New Jersey that acts in the same capacity as we do.
And to get more information about these other talent networks, we could certainly go online. We'll put up the website. So what kind of input specifically are you looking to get for some of these businesses?
So when we meet with businesses, we hear a lot about the skills and competencies that are lacking in the existing workforce. And so we're proposing and developing projects with combining businesses and educators and workforce development professionals. And we're seeking funding from the New Jersey Department of Labor and Workforce Development, but also private foundation funds, and trying to put together public-private sector partnerships that begin to address the concerns of the industry. And those concerns are felt statewide. They're certainly regionally.
Let's talk a little bit about the retail real quickly, because I know retail There's a lot of retail chains that are kind of closing.
Yes.
So that seems to be a part of the network that's really having some struggles.
Absolutely. So what we've been working with one of our counterparts in the Financial Services Talent Network to take a look at industry crosswalks. This is really important because as workers in the retail marketplace are dislocated from their existing employer, we have to provide them with opportunity for other jobs. And the retail industry cannot absorb the number of people who are losing their jobs. So we're proposing an industry crosswalk where dislocated retailer workers can upskill and earn some additional certifications and credentials that allow them to work in the financial services sector.
So certainly a lot of useful resources available right here in South Jersey, and this talent network is right at Stockton University.
Yes, we are very proud to be at Stockton University.
Stacey, thank you so much for sharing this information with our audience, and thank you once again for joining us here on Latino Motion.
Choose quality, value, distinction. Choose Stockton.
Funding for Latino Motion is provided by Atlanticare, healthcare you can believe in. Atlantic City Electric, energy for a changing world. And South Jersey Gas.